Ladies and gentlemen, the House Criminal Justice Committee is to order on Tuesday, March 7th. Madam Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Representatives Campbell, Carringer, Davis, Doggett, Farmer, Fritz, Glenn, Hardaway, Howell, Johnson, Lamberth, Moody, Russell, Sherrill, Towns, Vice Chairman Gillespie.
Here.
Chairman Halsey. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Before we get started, are there any personal comments that need to be made? Representative Carringer?
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to introduce someone who's shadowing me today, Gina Triplett, who's sitting back here. She attends the Berean Christian School in Knoxville, Tennessee, and her mom is also out here. There she is. And her father sits on Knox County School Board in Knoxville. So she'll be graduating and attending UT Knoxville this fall. So y'all give her a warm welcome.
Chairman Doggett?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Earlier today, I announced that Giles County High School had made it to the state tournament or whatever in Murfreesboro. I failed to mention, by mistake, that in my newly acquired county of Lincoln County, portions of Lincoln County, Fayetteville City boys, which is not, they're not in my district, but some of the students are. They also, the boys basketball team has made it to the state tournament in Murfreesboro. Their head coach is a graduate of my high school. Was best friends with his older brother. We graduated together, but Chris Murdoch is the coach. He's been up here a time or two with some folks. His wife has done some advocacy on the Hill, so I just want to say congratulations to Fayetteville City as well.
Here, here. Yay! All right, anybody else? All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started with HJR 94 by Chairlady Hazelwood. Thank you so much. Chairlady, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am honored and delighted to stand before you here today to talk with you about Marsy's Law and to ask you to take the next step in the process of getting Marsy's Law into our Tennessee Constitution. For those of you who haven't heard much about it, now hopefully that's not any of you, hopefully everybody's had a good discussion on this, but just as a review, Marsy's Law will simply give crime victims meaningful and enforceable constitutional rights. All we're doing with Marsy's Law is making sure that the accused rights and the victim's rights are equal. Victims' rights are not enshrined in the Constitution today. Criminal rights are, as we all know, and nobody's trying to take any rights away from the accused, but we just want to make sure that those victims, again, have the same opportunities, the same kind of support, and the same kind of respect from the judicial system that the accused receives. So I know some people have said we have statutes, and I'm very proud of what Tennessee has done in our statutory laws regarding victims' rights. But there's a difference in the statute, which can be changed by any General Assembly to follow, than the Constitution, which is, as you all know, a pretty heavy lift to get changed. And this would just be the first step. We would have to get this approved in this General Assembly by majority in both the House and the Senate, then come back in the 114th General Assembly and have a 2/3 majority, and then, and only then, go on the ballot for the Tennessee voters, along with the gubernatorial election, to enact Marsy's Law. But I just want to give a shout out to the chiefs of police, the Sheriff's Association, all of the people that have come together, worked around the table. Those groups have endorsed Marsy's Law and stand willing and ready to support it and enforce it. So with that, I could talk as much in detail as you'd like, or I just stand ready for your questions.
Thank you. Before we do that, thank you. We got an amendment.
I am sorry. I was so excited about getting it done. I didn't do my amendment. I apologize.
Question's been called.
And the amendment is 4137.
That's what I have too. Thank you. Question's been called on the amendment. We are now voting. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those against? The ayes have it. All right. Any questions on the bill? Representative Johnson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to know the amendment. I'm not aware of, unless it's the same, if it was in,
The amendment makes the bill.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it is the amendment.
No
It's-
sweat.
Yes.
I appreciate the bill.
Yes, there are no surprises in the amendment. It just enumerates the rights that Marcy's Law would enshrine in the Constitution.
Thank you.
And including one I think is important enough to mention because it is a bit of a change. It includes if you're a victim of a juvenile crime, if you're hurt, if you're victimized, it really doesn't matter if the perpetrator was 14 or 44, the result is the same. So this would ensure that for all public proceedings, again, the victim would be notified and have an opportunity to be present, participate, speak if they chose to.
Follow up? Thank you. Chairman Doggett?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Representative, I just want to say thank you. This has been a work in progress for the last 3 years, and a lot of sleepless nights and long weekends working through this, and I just want to say thank you for your diligence and hard work, and it's important that we get things right, and I think this is right, and we're moving in the right direction, so I want to say thank you very much.
Well, thank you for that. There has been an enormous amount of work, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank the people from Marcy's Law, which is, is a national organization. They've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into getting this done in Tennessee, and I'm excited about, I told someone earlier when I was discussing it, it's like this is the starting pistol. If you all vote this out, then we have begun the marathon. It is a long process, but I will be just ecstatic to have moved on and to give Tennessee voters an opportunity to decide on this. And I think Tennesseans have spoken in the past. I think they have a real heart for victims' rights. Again, not taking anything away from the accused, but to make sure that our victims are treated as well as the accused are.
Thank you so much. Representative Towns? Pass. Chair Lady Moody?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and again, thank you for the tireless work. And I just want you to know, and I think you know some of my folks from home, but it means so much. It means so much, and I look forward to working with you in the long process. I'll be right by your side.
Thank you, Chairman Moody. You've been there from the beginning, and I'm grateful for it.
Representative Hardaway?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Chair Lady. You've been a real warrior on this for the past few years. It hasn't been easy, it hadn't been pretty, but you realize that there are always two sides to justice, and trying to balance the victim and the accused is always a difficult task. But what you are doing now to ensure that the victim's rights are enshrined in the Constitution is immeasurable in the way that it will enable Tennessee going forward to deliver justice. So I thank you, and the people of Tennessee, I'm sure, will support this amendment. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, and you all can help us support it by talking to all your friends and making sure that we get 99 yes votes on the House floor. Thank you.
All right. Madam Chair, I wanted to thank you as well before we move on to a vote. I said at last committee, this is so important that we're finally kind of bringing up to par with some other rights that are already in the Constitution and bringing those to victims as well. So thank you so much. Seeing no other questions, are we ready to vote? All right. All those in favor of passing HJR 94 to finance, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. moves to HJR 094 moves to finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
I don't see where it was. But yeah. All right, now we're moving on. We're going to skip ahead a little bit to number 8 on your calendar, to House Bill 89 by Chairman Russell. 289, I'm sorry. Chairman Russell, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 289 will allow a jury to determine whether a defendant's sentence of death must be expedited. House Bill 289 will require, says if a defendant's sentence may be expedited if the jury finds that the offense involved the death of 3 or more victims whom the defendant killed using 1 or more deadly weapons, the defendant committed the offense by using 1 or more deadly weapons on the grounds of a public or private elementary, secondary, or post-secondary school, or the defendant committed the offense by killing a first responder who was acting in the course of the first responder's employment at the time of the offense, and the evidence presented at the trial proving the defendant's guilt was incontestable. The sentence must be carried out within 30 business days of the conclusion of any appeal and the exhaustion of all available methods of post-conviction relief. The Tennessee Department of Correction, if the Tennessee Department of Correction is unable to carry out a sentence of death by lethal injection, the electric chair shall be used. Mr. Chairman, I renew my motion.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Representative Johnson?
I don't know that so much that I have a question, but I think we did talk last time, or I did bring up that I had concerns about, rushing to this, rushing to get this done. And so I understand where you're headed. I understand all of that, but I just don't feel comfortable with that rush. So, thank you.
Chairman Russell?
Thank you, and I just want to say I appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
All right, seeing no other questions, I think we're ready to vote on House Bill 289. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? No. Right, the ayes have it. It moves to calendar. If you wish to be recorded as a no, please see the clerk. All right, back to number 2 on our calendar, House Bill 1280 by Chairman Kiesling. Thank you so much, Chairman Kiesling. You are recognized.
Well, thank you very much. And
and we do have an amendment on the bill.
Yeah,
I'm
we
sorry.
do, sure do. And that amendment tracking code is 4704. I hope that
That's
correlates
what I
with
have.
you.
All right, add that to the bill. By all those in favor of adding the amendment to the bill? Aye. All those against? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Chairman, you're recognized.
Thank you very much. Originally, the language read that the subdivision II was that the victim of the offense was 65 years of age or older, and that the person who is doing the stalking was 15 years or more younger than the victim. Now, what we did with the amendment is we struck that 15 years out. So it simply, what we're doing here is we're changing the punishment for the charge of aggravated stalking of our senior citizens from a Class A misdemeanor to a Class E felony. Currently, the actions against our elderly are only considered a Class A punishable, and I'll get a little more specific, punishable by a sentence of 11 months and 29 days, along with a $2,500 fine. So what we're doing is we're moving this up. The judge can now, Class E felony requires a mandatory sentence of 11 months, 29, and 1 to 6 years in prison with fines up to $3,000. We think it's time, ladies and gentlemen, that I just want to say thank you to all who took the time to sign on to this to this bill. It's very supportive, and I appreciate your support. Many of you did, and I thank you. With that, I'll entertain any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions? All right. Question's been called. All those in favor of moving House Bill 1280 to Finance, say aye. Aye. All those against? All right. You are headed to Finance, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have House Bill 752 by Chair Lady Littleton. May I have a, thank you. Chair Leader Littleton, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. I haven't seen you in that seat, so it looks good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That may win you points there.
So, House Bill 752 creates a Class C misdemeanor punishable by fine only. For the first time, a foster parent from a kinship placement knowingly allows a child in their care to visit with the child's parent if there was a known current court order prohibiting the child's parent from visiting the child, and increases to a violation, the violation to a Class B misdemeanor for every subsequent occurrence.
Thank you so much for that explanation. Are there any questions? Oh, Representative Haraway.
Thank you, Chairman. Normally, I try to keep the criminal justice system away from parental issues, but this is one that could involve abusers and those who have actually committed criminal acts and could commit further criminal acts against children. So I support your bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Question's been called. We're now voting on House Bill 752. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? The ayes have it. You are headed to calendar and rules. Thank you so much, and stay right there.
All right.
Next up, we have, again, by Chair Lady Littleton, House Bill. Oh, that's been rolled. And it's been rolled 1 week. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Oh, one more. Sorry. Next up is 557, also by Chair Lady Littleton. Chair Lady. Thank y'all. You are recognized.
And it does have an amendment, 4700.
That is what I see as well.
Motion on the amendment. Second on the amendment.
All right. All those in favor of adding the amendment, say aye. Aye. All those that say no? All right. Amendment number 2 is attached. Chair Lady, you can continue.
This broadens the criteria under which a video recording for a forensic interview containing statements by children is considered admissible evidence to include those made by a child under 18 years of age rather than 13, and encompassing sexual or physically violent acts committed to the child or another rather than usual sexual acts.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
what's the amendment code that we're on? I'm sorry.
4700.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair
Question
Lady?
on the
I
amendment.
welcome any questions.
Question on the amendment, or we've adopted the amendment. Is the question on the bill?
Okay,
Or you
never
have
mind. Yeah,
Withdrawal.
withdraw.
Representative Towns.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Chair Lady, what this does, let me make sure I'm clear. It allows the testimony of a child, 17 and under, to be recorded and then admissible in court, so they don't have to necessarily go to court, correct? Good bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? All right, seeing none, we're voting on House Bill 557. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? The ayes have it. You are off the calendar and rules.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Vice Chair and members.
Thank you. Next up, we have House Bill 577 by Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We need a
Thank you.
motion and a second, please. Thank you. Representative, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's my first time seeing you in that seat, and it looks good on you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's helping.
Thank you. I thought I'd just repeat what Chair Lady Littleton said, so I can get the same, same response from her. I'm just kidding, y'all. Thank you. Right. Thank you. So, hey, you do what works, right? Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, committee. Last year, a gunshot victim was driven to the hospital in a personally owned vehicle. Once he arrived, the shooter drove up to the hospital behind him and began shooting on hospital premises. Of course, this situation created safety concerns for our hospital staff to the point that the leadership felt it was important to ask for legislative support. This bill creates an enhancement for crimes of aggravated assault and attempted first-degree murder on the grounds of a healthcare facility. And the healthcare facility in this bill is defined as a hospital. And with that, Mr. Chair, I'm open for any questions.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions? Chairman Doggett, you're recognized.
Thank you. And that's what I was going to ask, was the clarification of the healthcare facility, because I know sometimes we have clinics where, there's legislation every year where nurses or healthcare workers are assaulted during the course of their duties and their professional duties and their jobs. And there's oftentimes we try to do enhancements and we start adding all these different groups and classes of citizens into these. But I think this is a good approach, taking it not necessarily with the profession, but with the grounds that it's on. So it would include anyone that is on the grounds of that hospital, whether you were a healthcare provider or just a family member that's coming to check on a loved one. So I think this is a good job on that, and I also wanted to compliment your tie.
Thank you, sir.
It looks just like the one I donated to Ties for Turns. No other question.
All right, I'm not going to comment on that one.
Mr. Chair, that was a setup, and I didn't even see it coming.
Representative Parkinson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That was a setup that I didn't see coming. So, thank you, Chairman.
All right. Any other questions? Question has been called. All those in favor of House Bill 577, moving on, say aye. Aye. All those against? All right, the ayes have it. You are off the calendar and rules.
Thank you, Mr.
so
Chair.
much.
And I can hear your weight training working for you when you gavel. So, good job. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I need to stop laughing. All right, next up on the agenda is House Bill 831 by Leader Lampert. All right, Leader, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have an amendment that makes the bill. It's amendment coded 5000.
Thank you so much. I see it. Would get a motion in a second to go ahead and add that. Perfect. All those in favor of adding amendment 500? Zero.
Aye.
All those against, say no. The ayes have it. All right, Leader Lampert, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. This deals with an issue that has come up recently. There was a Supreme Court case last year out of McNairy County that indicated if a judge sends in an expungement form, then it bypasses the TBI in essence, and it has to be expunged, whether it's an unlawful expungement or not. So this body decides what is eligible for expungement, what is not. I respect all of our judges and the judicial branch, but if something is literally an illegal expungement, if it's for a sexual offense, if it's for a DUI, if that person's had multiple prior offenses, then their record should not be expunged. And unfortunately, I think some of this is just slipping through the cracks where a judge doesn't know someone's history or that it doesn't, that particular crime is not eligible. So what this does, it just makes sure everybody has the appropriate amount of information. So right now for diversion, you have to get a certificate from the TBI before as you apply for diversion and before the judge would grant it. This puts that certificate in place for other types of expungement as well. And then the amendment just cleaned up some language. It's basically the same thing from sub, but does include nollies on here, that a nollie would be something just like a dismissal that would still be able to be expunged. It's a nollie prosequi.
Thank you so much. Any members have any questions? Representative Hardaway, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those folks at home, if you could explain what a nollie is, sir.
Oh, Leader Lambert, you are recognized.
Again, you're asking what a nollie is? Nollie prosequi? Yes. So again, it is similar to a dismissal for all intents and purposes. It is treated like a dismissal in the court system, but it is an indication by the state that they are not going forward with the charges. And under the statute, that is something that can be expunged and should, in my opinion. So it is used interchangeably as a dismissal, but it's handled differently in different jurisdictions. But specifically for this, we're going to treat those as we do dismissals, where someone can get that expunged without having to go through this process, quite frankly, because that is like a dismissal.
Representative Hardaway, follow up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman, for the explanation. Thank you, Leader, for the explanation. Thank you, Chairman.
All right. Chairman Doggett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also believe this amendment creates a new subsection. If the sponsor wanted to elaborate on that.
Leader Lambert.
Mr. Chairman, if I may ask, in what way?
You just explain the new subsection for us, please.
Yeah, so there have been some issues in the past where there are no records available because a courthouse is burned down, because something has flooded, where a clerk can research their own records to see if there's any record of a conviction. There are, on the criminal histories at the TBI, from time to time, there'll be an arrest where there's no disposition listed. And so the clerk should do everything that they can to research that and make an indication as to what really they are able to find within their records, if that's the subsection you're talking about, Mr. Chairman.
You are recognized.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir, that is it. Thank you for that explanation.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, we are now going to vote on House Bill 831. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? The ayes have it. You are going to finance. Yes, finance. Thank you so much. And right now, we're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute recess. All right, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We are back in session. Perfect. All right. Thank you all again. Next up and last on our calendar is House Bill 722 by Chairman Halsey. Second. And also, I'm seeing there's an amendment there. Sarah, would you like to? Yeah, that's fine. We'll go ahead and vote on the amendment. Yeah. All those in favor of adding the amendment to 4142 to the bill, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. All right, we'll just give a moment for the chair to get everything situated here. Thank you all for coming back so quickly. Before we get started, thank you.
Just had a quick question or comment, really. I just wanted to let Chairman Halsey know that Vice Chair Gillespie has done an excellent job since you've been gone. He's swinging that gavel, and I think he's been working out or something other, but he's doing a good job, though. I just wanted you to know.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'll tell you, if you keep on telling people I've been working out, that would be very, very advantageous, I feel like. So I'm just going to go and say that. Chairman Halsey, you are recognized on the bill. Oh. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm recognized.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairman, and thank you for the fine job that you have done in my absence. House Bill 722 raises a voluntary manslaughter charge from a Class C felony to a Class B felony. And the reason that we need it is because currently voluntary manslaughter in a Class C section gets a sentence of 3 to 6 years, and a lot of times juries will take a first-degree murder or second-degree murder charge and they will plead it down to voluntary manslaughter, but a judge is not permitted to tell a jury what the sentence is. So a lot of times juries thinking they're giving a good sentence, and when the victim's family finds out that this is only a 3 to 6 year sentence for killing somebody, it becomes very horrifying to them. And what else is troubling about it is if I point a gun at you and threaten to kill you, but I don't do it, I don't pull the trigger, that's aggravated assault, which is a Class C felony. But if provoked the right way and I shoot you and kill you and get charged with voluntary manslaughter, it is also a Class C felony. So that kind of disparity needs to be fixed, and we probably should have fixed it a long time. So this bill just raises voluntary manslaughter from a Class C to a Class B felony.
Thank you so much. Chair Lady Carringer, you're recognized.
Well, I just had a comment to make that letting it be known that Representative Carringer can get in and out of committees faster than Chairman Halsey over there. I presented my bill after he did, and I still got in here when he did. So I don't know what that has to say.
I don't know if you want to go there.
I just had. There he goes.
I have no defense.
Being our great chair.
I have no defense.
Any other questions? Leader Lambert?
I don't know about y'all, but I can't tell if she was picking on the chairman or complimenting the chairman.
All right. Any other questions? All right. I just want to say something real quick. Chairman, this great bill. I'm carrying some legislation myself that involves aggravated assault and kind of fixing that disparity in itself. So I appreciate you for tying these other really horrific crimes and really adding some teeth there. So thank you. And with that, we will go ahead and vote on House Bill 0722. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? All right. The ayes have it. You are off the finance, sir.
Thank you.
Entertain. Oh, I have an adjournment. All right, we are adjourned.